Fear cannot divert what grace has already assigned. What God has spoken over your life is secure, but your posture determines how you participate in it. Gideon doubted himself, but he did not disobey God. Delayed obedience is dangerous, but conditional obedience is more dangerous. We've been studying Bible characters in NJZ since last year, and recently we journeyed through Judges chapter 4 to 7, looking at two powerful leaders, Deborah and Barak, and then Gideon. And as I sat with these scriptures, something began to burn in my spirit, because these are not just stories. They are mirrors. They reveal how God works with men and how men sometimes respond to God. Barak believed in the word but feared the responsibility. Gideon feared his capacity but trusted the God who called him. And that changes everything. There are moments in a believer's life where destiny is not denied, it is diverted. Not because God changed his mind, not because the promise failed, but because fear interrupted obedience. And today, I believe the Lord is bringing us into a moment of alignment where we confront the subtle ways fear has been negotiating with our obedience. We've been studying Bible characters in NJZ since last year. And recently, we journeyed through Judges chapter 4 to 7, looking at two powerful leaders, Deborah and Barak, and then Gideon. And as I sat with these scriptures, something began to burn in my spirit, because these are not just stories, they are mirrors. They reveal how God works with men and how men sometimes respond to God. Now, the Israelites were under oppression, not randomly, but because they had sinned against God. And in his sovereignty, he allowed them to be handed over to the army of Jabin. But then they cried out, and God in his mercy responded as usual. He sent a word through Deborah the prophet, a clear instruction to Barak: go to war, and I will deliver Sisera into your hands. This was not a suggestion or a motivational speech. This was a divine guarantee. But Barak did something that many believers do today. He hesitated. He doubted. He feared the weight of the assignment. And then he made a statement, a simple sentence that carried destiny-altering consequences. If you go with me, I will go. If you don't go with me, I won't go. This is a man who had received a word from God, confirmed by a prophet, connected to the deliverance of an entire nation. Yet he made obedience conditional. Now, delayed obedience is dangerous, but conditional obedience is more dangerous because it looks like submission, but it is actually fear in disguise. Barak was not acting in faith, he was negotiating with fear. And the Bible tells us clearly, without faith, it is impossible to please God. Now, Deborah, understanding the weight of what was at stake, agreed to go, but she released a prophetic word. The road you are taking will bring you no honor, for the Lord will deliver Sisera into the hands of a woman. In that moment, honor was diverted, not because God withdrew his promise, but because Barak stepped out of alignment with the posture required to carry it. God said, I will deliver him into your hands. But fear disqualified Barak from the fullness of that manifestation. Now we move to Judges chapter 6. Same Israel, same cycle of oppression, same need for deliverance. But this time, God raises a different man, Gideon. When the angel appeared to Gideon, something interesting happened. Gideon is not bold. He is not confident. He is not even convinced of himself. In fact, he is hiding. And he's saying, who am I? My clan is the weakest. I am the least. But here is the difference. Despite Barak's established military standing, he refused to lead when God called him, making his obedience conditional on Deborah's presence. Gideon, on the other hand, was found in humble practical service to his people, threshing wheat in hiding to protect what little they had under the Midianite oppression, yet demonstrated an open solution-focused posture when God encountered him. This comparison highlights that outward credentials or positions are not what qualifies a person for divine assignment. What matters is the condition of the heart. Gideon doubted himself, but he did not disobey God. Barak believed in the word but feared the responsibility. Gideon feared his capacity but trusted the God who called him. And that changes everything. Gideon moved. And what we see is a flawless victory so effortless that it reveals a deeper truth. God never needed Gideon's strength. He only needed his obedience. God is not looking for strong men. He is looking for yielded vessels. Barak was an instrument. Gideon was an instrument. The assignment has never been about human capacity. The promise was always, I will deliver them into your hands. Now, here are some key lessons to take away from this. Number one is fear cannot divert what grace has already assigned. What God has spoken over your life is secure, but your posture determines how you participate in it. Even in attaching others to revealed promises can alter its trajectory. Number two, conditional obedience is hidden disobedience. God, I will go, but only if. You see, that language reveals a heart still negotiating with fear. Number three, you can believe God and still miss full alignment. Barak did not reject the word. He just didn't fully align with it. And partial alignment produces partial manifestation. Number four, God does not need your strength, only your yes. Gideon's victory proves that when God is in it, your limitation is not a barrier. And then number five, obedience activates divine partnership. When you move, God moves. And when you align, heaven backs you. I want to speak to someone listening right now. There is an instruction over your life, something God has already told you to do, but you've been negotiating. You've been waiting for confirmation, for support, for comfort. You've been saying, God, if this happens, then I will move. And the Lord is saying, remove the condition. Because on the other side of your obedience is a victory that does not require your strength, only your alignment. This is your call back into radical obedience. This is your call back into faith without negotiation. May you not lose your honor to fear. May you not divert what was meant for your hands. And may your life become a vessel through which God says, again, I will deliver through you.